Hello, all you tiny, beautiful people who live in the confines of my phone. Really quickly, laptop that I typically record on, explode. No more work. So, your phone people again. My apologies, I can't fix that. So, anyways, last week I made a video about Stranger Things. It didn't work. Audio got messed up, blah, 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 blah. So, this video is also about Stranger Things. I wasn't on the Stranger Things bandwagon for the past 9 years. I actually got onto it a month ago whenever my partner came home from work and said, "Hey, I was told I have to watch this, so we have to watch it." And we watched it, and I went, and really, 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 really liked it. Pretty immediate because I didn't expect to. But like an episode in, I was already like, oh, that's why this is one of the most popular TV shows on the planet. Got it. Then we didn't just watch that one episode, we watched the season. And then we didn't just watch the one season, we watched all of it. Over the course of 2 weeks, we watched season 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we sat patiently. Or not so patiently. For season 5. Thanksgiving, boom. 4 episodes, and then we sat for another month. And then boom, Christmas Day, run through. And then we sat. And then the finale came out, and today, that's what I'm talking about, is the finale. Spoilers, I guess. Spoiler warnings. I will be talking about the spoilies and the doilies. So, if you're not interested in hearing those, mayhaps this isn't the show for you. Also, there's a cat on me. So, I have a cat. To begin, I just want to say tremendous, crew. Tremendous acting, tremendous writing, tremendous action choreography, tremendous dialogue. Excuse me, I'm yawning. Tremendous lighting, tremendous SFX, tremendous special effects, tremendous CGI, tremendous everything. Just really good shit all around. On every possible, measurable angle, just good stuff. I will be pointing out, as I go, a couple of actors who I think did, I think all of them did good, but I think a couple did, superb, genuine, this is probably, the best character they will play. Not because they can't do better, but because it's, really fucking good. And I want to start by talking about Jamie Campbell Bower, the guy who came in and played Vecna, Henry, One, whatever it is that you want to call him in the moment. The show kind of allows the characters to call him different stuff. Some call him Vecna, some call him Henry. Every once in a while, someone calls him One. That's sort of one of the things that they give you almost like a freedom with. I think Jamie Campbell Bower comes in with a stellar performance. Stop biting me, ow! My cat's beating my ass. Stop! Jamie comes in and just delivers an insane performance. He comes in and very quickly, kind of takes over in a way. Because this show has had antagonists since the beginning, right? Could you not attack me? Yeah, let me clean that off of you. You need to quit biting me. from the beginning it's had antagonists, whether that be Brenner or with season 2 having Billy, season 3 having Billy. But in season 4 they bring in Vecna and this idea of Henry and this body for the Mind Flayer and whatnot. And it's really interesting. And at first I didn't know how I'd feel about it because it's a show that very much hasn't been circling a focal antagonist in a way where it's like not it's not like Skeletor, right? It's not one bad guy coming back over and over. And that's something that I like about the show, is that it's not like one focal antagonist. Like, it changes based on the season, the episode, whatever, right? But Jamie comes in and takes this role and runs with it. Just a tremendous guy, a great actor, a tremendous character, somebody who we kind of get everything we need of them, I think. And obviously that's subjective, and if you disagree with me, that's okay. But this character comes in and very quickly is shown to be a big deal. And then we get the really gross scene with Chrissy, followed by him doing it a couple more times, where Vecna snaps both arms, both legs, explodes the eyeballs, snaps the jaw, kills him. And it's really gross. It's very... It's over the top in the way that the rest of the show is, while being grody and gritty and realistic in the sense of the visuals and in the sense of the reactions to the death. And that's like kind of neat. I very quickly said during the parts where Henry is just an orderly at Brenner's lab, and that's like the end of the conversation of who he is, I very quickly was like, hey, that guy, he's like the original power guy for sure. If not, he's Vecna. He's one or the other. And then like the next episode I said he's both. So I clocked that, mostly because there's enough that they do to push towards it, I guess. No genius. But that happened. And it was really fucking cool. Followed by Jamie's actual performance, like seeing what the characters do, the like 2 or 3 characters he plays, or different ways he plays them, I guess, is the term I'm looking for. Seeing the physical acting, but also just the vocal acting, just his words and how he says them, because as the orderly, he's calm, he's collected, he's slow, he communicates softly, he communicates as if he's trying to relay information to somebody who he's helping. And then after that, we get his performances as Vecna, this really deep, bellowy, genuinely horrifying sounding guy. And then following that with this character of Mr. Whatsit, this soft-spoken, smiling, happy, helpful guy. And then seeing as these 3 characters are one, and seeing the way that they're bled together without taking away from any of them. And by doing that, we get to see people put together that these are the same guy. We get to see different characters reacting to the fact that this is all one dude. It's very interesting to watch. And that's, for now, what I'll say about Jamie Campbell Bower. We'll get into other stuff. I want to talk about this theory that people had on the internet called Conformity Gate, or it's been coined Conformity Gate. Maybe not everybody calls it that. Basically, Stranger Things fans didn't like the ending of the show. And they said, guys, obviously there's one more episode that's going to come out. Now, to begin, that's stupid. That's it. I don't have other thoughts. That's fucking stupid. It's just a dumb thing to think. Show's over. Show ended. It had an ending. I liked it. If you didn't, that's okay. It's subjective media. But they don't have another one. So fuck you, I guess. A lot of people were really, 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 really unhappy with the ending. I'm not one of those people. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I felt satisfied, but not happy for every character, but satisfied as a whole, I think, is what I'm looking for here. But I was satisfied. I was happy. I was satisfied. And for the most part, I walked away feeling really good about the fact that I spent some time with the show, with these characters, with these actors. Excuse me. I don't even know why I'm yawning. Moving forward with that statement, I want to talk about the endings the characters got and how I feel about them. Because a lot of people aren't happy with those. Bye, Potos. Bye, Potos. I think the best ending a character gets is Steve. I think Steve Harrington has a great ending. I think he has a great send-off. He becomes a fucking baseball coach and sex ed teacher. He wants to settle down, and we see him getting ready to buy a home. We see him getting ready to find a woman to be with, have his little nuggets and what have you. And I think it works. The other adult, late teen, whatever you want to label them as characters, they sort of, I think they get a shorter end of the stick than he does. I think he definitely gets a better wrap up than they do. Jonathan goes on to film a movie, which is neat. I think it fits with who he is. It's very reminiscent of Bob from season 2. It's very cool. Jonathan going on to do that at some like big university, and it not being just like, oh, it's the one Nancy's going to, right? I appreciate that. I think that works for him, but he kind of feels it feels very much like he's not their focal point, as it does with a lot of the other characters here in the finale. But that's not entirely like a hateful thing. Some of it's all right. Nancy not going to college, or like leaving college, I guess. It's very interesting. It's very cool. It's very where her character gets to in these like last like couple seasons, because she's a bit of a rebellious individual by the time we get out of season 1. So seeing her not doing the typical thing, I'm enjoying. And then Robin, she gets an ending, I guess. I'm very confused on how I feel about her ending. Because we don't see her with Vicky, which is a little confusing. And then that's really it. Like, she goes to do stuff elsewhere, which a lot of characters do, and that's fine. But it's not my favorite or anything. It's very much not the highlight of the episode for me, but it's okay. I am satisfied, not happy. Compromise, right? And then a lot of characters are in the episode or at the ending without getting an ending, like Murray Bauman. He doesn't really get like an actual ending. He's just at the graduation scene, and then that's it. The cat is ripping a box open right over there. So they're characters who just kind of don't get a like ending. Once again, satisfied, not happy, compromise. I think the main four children get perfect endings. Dustin goes on to be a scholar. He gets valedictorian. He graduates. In an ode to Eddie, he flips the principal the bird, grabs his diploma, runs like hell, blah, 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 blah. Goes to college and has a good time there. And then we get a very nice scene at the very end of the explanation of him going to college where Steve comes to pick him up. They share a nice hug. And then at the end of that scene, we get notice that Will is going to be all right. He's going to move. He's going to be safe. He's going to find an area in which he can be loved and respected and whatnot. And it's very, very kind and very, very nice. Mike stays home, theoretically. We don't really know too much about like where if he will leave Hawkins or if he's going to stay or whatever. But he's writing stories, which has been kind of neat considering he's been the DM for this group and been making stories for them. And he is now writing those stories. Lucas, Mr. Sinclair, will be staying in Hawkins. He will be staying there with Max, who survives and is okay. And those two are just going to be together and happy and safe and doing things that normal people do instead of fighting demons. And I really like that for them. I think that's like the best of the four kids endings, for sure, as those two. The best of like the six, I guess, is very much those. Before the show ends, Mike gives his theory on 11 that she's not dead. That she had Kali use her powers, and 11 faked her death and ran away to a place with 3 waterfalls. And I'm very conflicted on that. Very conflicted. Because on one hand, she gets that waterfall ending, right? I need to get this hair out of my mouth real quick. Because on that one hand, right, it's... She gets a happy in heavy quotations. She gets that happy ending. She gets to go to that waterfall that her and Mike talk about. She gets to be away from this U.S. military that wants her so badly. She gets to have at least some time of peace. However, she gets that while not being able to be around Mike, Dustin, Will, Lucas, Hopper, Joyce, Nancy, Jonathan, Mike, Dustin, Steve. She kind of leaves behind her entire life. Which, like, as somebody who's done that in real life, I get it. But it's not a happy ending. It's very melancholic. It's very gray, not black and white. It's very, 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 very satisfying, yet very far from happy this time. With the rest of them, it's like, oh, satisfying, but not happy. This one's satisfying and far from it. And I like this melancholic ending for her. I think it's very on brand with what the show has done before. Personally, I'm just overall a fan of it. A lot of people aren't. The internet's not been super satisfied. And it's subjective, whatever, but I disagree. I just don't agree with that. I think it's good. I think it's a good episode. I think the endings, for the most part, are good. I think the acting is great. Hopper and Joyce probably get my favorite ending because they finally get their date at Enzo's. Hopper proposes, they're gonna get married, and then they're most likely moving to Montauk, which, if you don't know, is what the show was going to be called before it got called Stranger Things, which is a really fun way to tie a bunch of stuff together for them. I like it. I like it. One moment. Speaking of endings that the internet hates, people don't like the way Vecna died. Didn't like that fight, didn't like the final battle, whatever. I don't agree. I really liked it. I enjoyed the final battle. I enjoyed the sequences. I enjoyed the monster design of what I label the Thessal Hydra. If it's not called that, it's not called that, but that's what I'm calling it. I very much liked the multiple different ways the fight was happening. We had the fight going on in Henry's mind, where it was Eleven and Kali versus Henry, and it was all in the mind. It was very weird seeing the way that happened. Then we had the main group versus the Thessal Hydra. Oh God, I'm yawning. Main group versus Thessal Hydra, which is a really interesting fight. And then we have the final physical battle of Vecna and Eleven, which then gets like its final moments of Eleven and Will versus Vecna, ending finally with Joyce chopping Bro's head off. So that's kind of cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Very good stuff. Once again, it's subjective. If you disagree, whatever, you disagree. It's not a big deal. We don't need to fucking fight about it on Twitter for the next year. No one cares. I liked it. I had fun. I very much enjoyed it. Dipshit Derek, tremendous. Love him. Love him. He's delightful. Delightful Derek. I loved it. And I have been sort of lost. The show ended. We finished it. And for the past week, I've kind of just been like lost not having it, which feels weird to say about a TV show, right? But I haven't found my next show to watch. And I haven't found my next show to watch with my partner. And due to that, I'm sort of in a point where I'm like there's like a void in a way of Stranger Things that's just not there. Hello Cat. And it's been really weird not having it because for like 3 weeks straight, every single day I was watching that for like whether it be 2 hours or 6, depending, right? But that was my like thing, me and my partner's thing for a while. Hi Puddles. So it feels weird. It feels really weird. Since then, me and my partner have spent a little bit of money on Stranger Things stuff. I don't want to use a little bit, which I will be showing you now. To start, I got these little guys. They were kind of cheap. Little Jim. And help us. Help us. Help us. Help us. And then little Elle. She got a little blood stain on her nose. She's kind of cute. Set that over there. Cat's in the window. And then I don't know how I'm just gonna have to turn the camera for this one. Look at that. I don't even know how well that's showing up because I can't see the camera right now because it's up against the wall and I'm not over there. But yeah, little Elle, little Will, pretty fire. And then if I can pick it up without it falling apart. Got this little thing of rubbing. Kind of cool. I like this. I'm a fan. I'm actually a fan. I'm a fan. And then the last piece of Stranger Things merch I have is in my laundry basket. It's a Hellfire shirt, because Hellfire's dope, and we love Eddie Munson. But that is about all today. I will be trying to keep my upload schedule working. But with the computer having died, I don't know how well that's going to work. I gotta realize where the camera is. I keep looking over there. It's not over there. Camera's over here. But I will be trying. And we'll see how that goes next time there's an upload time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your time, for your efforts, for your support. Still trying to get 1,000 subs. We'll work on it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.